Welcome, everyone, to our Survivor podcast. Once again, we are back to talking more Survivor. This time we'll be talking episode 3. Did you vote for a swap? Is the name of this episode. And there is indeed a swap. So we'll be getting into that, the fallout from that, the impact of that. I think it's a little early than most seasons, so that's why it was such a surprise for everyone. But I am Justin, and I am here with my co-host, my fellow Survivor fan, Rachelle. How are you doing?
So good. I love the idea of a swap so soon in the game. And I think it was very strategic, too, because things were going so well for one of our teams, right? And so they wanted to level out so it wasn't so lopsided right at the beginning. So I love it.
Yeah, some teams were getting a little too comfortable.
Yeah.
So mix it up. So we'll get into that, like I said, the fallout and who went home, who stayed, who's in new alliances. We'll talk all about that. So as far as the overall vibe, not including the swap and then the other things that happened, what were your thoughts on this overall episode of the old teams and transitioning into the new teams?
Well, I think that one of the things that I love about Survivor 50 is they really are trying to keep the players on their toes. Many players are very experienced in Survivor. They're all at least a little experienced on Survivor, and so they don't want to make the game too easy. Yeah. We've seen evolution where at the beginning of Survivor, the game was most difficult just because of the living conditions. And now they've tempered that a bit. And now the game is a bit more difficult because of the strategy and the gameplay. And so which is kind of great because now they have a bit more control over how they make that more challenging, right? And can they throw in a twist or a loop to keep the players on their toes?
Kind of like the Billie Eilish boomerang idol.
Yes.
So. Yeah. So that's my vibe of this episode is I liked the switch up. I like getting people more uncomfortable because they played this game so many times, like you said. So they kind of know how they do things, but now it's getting mixed up. So for me, that's a thumbs up on the swap timing. And then the edit, I like it overall until it gets to the tribal or when they're back at camp trying to figure out who to vote out and then they go to tribal. It's like, hey, let's talk about these things and we're going to get this person out. And then it's like this other person that I haven't even mentioned.
Although this episode, we did get a lot more conversation about who actually got voted out. Yeah. So I think this one was a little bit truer to the results.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So these new tribes, they switched it up and I'll just give a quick rundown with Cila, we got Cirie, Rick, Dee, Camila, Rizzo, Charlie, and Jonathan together. I mean, I like it. I think Cirie and Dee, they kind of hinted at it here and there a little bit. I think they're going to go toe-to-toe as far as strategy and social game. Rizzo, I think he's still annoying some people. Now he's in this new tribe. Charlie was interesting because I hadn't really heard much of anything from him until this episode. And then he's like, hey, here he is. He showed up.
It's interesting you mentioned that because there were one or two other players that I had not even seen before. Yeah. I was like, I guess we have a few more players to work with. Yeah. But I will say, a teaser for the end of the episode, Rizzo makes a pretty big mistake in this episode, which I think we are going to see really hurt him in the future. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk more about that towards the end. We have a new segment we're going to talk about, which is Play of the Day and Blunder of the Day. And so we'll get into that in a little bit. But overall, it's a really good mix. And I like that we have, Cirie, who's so tenured, and then Rizzo, who is, just so new.
Survivor baby, basically. Yeah. Toddler, I guess, because he's been around for a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the team. I think they got some good, strong, like physical people. They got some good strategy people. So I think they'll be able to have some drama in this new team. So, and Rizzo, like you said, he was getting all comfortable with Colby and this new alliance that he was getting into, and now he's just by himself again. So Vatu, the new Vatu, the Purple Tribe, is Stephanie, Azie, Emily, Christian, Mike, Q, and Angelina, and they focus a lot on this tribe this episode, and we'll get into why. But what's your take on this new Vatu tribe?
I really like this new Vatu tribe. I love that we have some pretty strategic players on this tribe, and we have some others that also, specifically Emily, makes a big mistake. I mean, probably the colossal mistake of the day. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. But it's really interesting because this tribe, we'll see in this episode, it does not know who's a real alliance and who isn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion there.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. It's not my least. It's my least favorite tribe, except for one guy,
Mike White.
Mike White.
We love Mike White.
Everyone else, I'm like, yeah.
And you know what I loved about Mike White in this episode was just how candid he was about who he was going to vote for.
Yeah, he was up front all the way.
Oh, it was great.
He was taking the Joe and Coach approach without being the Joe and Coach.
Yeah,
he had his own. Like, hey, this is what I think. This is what I'm going to do. So I liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So then lastly, the new Kalo tribe, the teal color. We got Aubry, Colby, Tiffany, Benjamin, a.k.a. Coach, Wade, Chrissy, Joe, and Genevieve. What's your thoughts on this new Kalo tribe?
Well, I thought this was really great that Joe was so excited to be paired up with Coach and Colby, right? He was from the get-go. He's excited about playing with people of quote unquote honor, and in Colby's favor, yes, I agree. Coach, I still stand that he plays with the badge of honor, but he pretends to have the badge of honor. He wears the badge of honor, but he doesn't actually play with the badge of honor, as we saw in the challenge where he stole the keys. So, but I did think that it is a better match because they do align better on their play style. So that, is a really great... It'll be really interesting to see how this plays out when there's not that contention and how that benefits the three of them specifically in this play.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for these three to work together. I think they have this similar ideology and approach to the game of Survivor. So if they can kind of navigate this social game without everybody ganging up on them and last for a while, I think they'll do really well as an alliance. And then as far as a tribe, Kalo is my favorite tribe at this point, with Cila being my next favorite and Vatu, like I said, least favorite. Because I like Genevieve. Genevieve's went on her original season. I really liked her. And then Aubry's interesting. I wouldn't say I like her, but she's an intriguing, interesting player at this point with her idol that she has. So it'll be interesting.
Well, this is really funny that Kalo was your favorite tribe because it is my least favorite tribe. Yeah, I actually kind of really like Vatu right now. Okay. And probably because Mike White's my favorite and I really like Azie as well. Yeah. Also, the drama that's happening on Vatu is just so entertaining. And so right now, Vatu is my favorite. And Cila, the problem with Cila is Rizzo's on that team and he annoys me.
You're not a Rizzo fan.
But so Vatu's probably my vote. I will say what I found really interesting in this episode was, how poorly Chrissy misunderstood Coach's intentions. So Coach observed previously that Chrissy was getting on everyone's nerves because she was really acting too much like a mother, bossing people around, telling them what to do. And Coach likes Chrissy and wants to, have her benefit him as an alliance. So he was trying to be nice, what he thought was nice, and just let her know, hey, tone it down a little bit with this new tribe. It's a great opportunity to have a fresh slate, and she totally took it the wrong way. Her feelings were very hurt, and it was pretty dramatic for her. So I thought that was really interesting. She's one of the oldest people on the team in the season, and yet that was a really immature way to react to a genuine effort to help her and himself.
Yeah, I think that was the right move by Coach. I think she did initially took it hard, and like you said, it was a little immature about it. But I think at the end, there was a statement. I don't know how lasting it is, but she's like, yeah, I think I need to change things. So I think it had an effect, but it took a while to get there.
That's fair. Yeah.
So, but yeah, Chrissy, another person that we know is on Survivor. But until this episode, we, got to spend some time with her, got to know her a little bit, so that was good.
Yeah.
But so who's one player this swap that you felt like got saved by this swap, and one who got screwed over?
That is a good question. Well, as we saw, Stephanie definitely got screwed over. She did not benefit very well. And I would say Camila probably benefited quite a bit. She thought she thought this was going to really be bad news for her, because she did not want to go to the tribe without without fire. But then she gets there and she realized, oh, these guys are like smart. Actually, they don't need.
They're living the high life over here.
Yeah. So she was pretty happy about it in the end. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I want to say Stephanie and then Q for the same reasons. What ended up happening, because they had a strong alliance going on their old tribe. I think they were set up to go pretty far if they hadn't have done that this episode. So yeah, I think Q was probably the one that got screwed over the most, because he was doing well.
Well, I guess the proof is in the pudding, since he's the one that got voted out.
Yeah. And I think the one that benefited the most is Joe, because his tribe was just starting to like gang up on him and turn on him, and now he's with his bros, Coach and Colby, and they're actually going to be pretty strong.
I mean, that's a really good point. Yeah. Great observation. Yeah.
All right, so they do the tribe swap. They go back to their camps. They then get to meet each other, and then there's a challenge. I think it's less than 24 hours later, they're doing another challenge. And this one is a blindfold challenge. So you got this course where you got to gather rings, but everyone's blindfolded except for one person who's the caller, who's like, hey, go here, you guys go there, go up, go down, whatever. So it's interesting who got chosen to be the callers, because I think that gives that person a little more clout in the tribe, because we can trust this person. This person's a clear communicator and a little more outgoing or whatever, so they can be assertive and tell us where to go. So I think that gives those persons a little bit of trust. So we had Christian on we had Camila, and then I think it was Chrissy, right?
Chrissy on Kalo, yeah.
So they're running the show basically, and they have to do all these things, and it was chaotic.
Well, here's the thing: this can go either way. If you do really well, you're gonna earn a lot of cred on the team. If you do poorly, because you have to be a very specific instructor, and if you are not a specific instructor and things don't go well, then you may lose some trust from your team.
Yeah. So given that statement, that point, who do you think did well, and who do you think kind of screwed the pooch?
Well, there's no question that Christian did not fare well for his team.
Yeah. I think he's a good communicator, but he didn't. Well, he's able to verbalize things, but he wasn't good with managing everything, I think.
There was a lot going on, and he had to be giving instructions to quite a few people at a time, and that is challenging. Yeah. However, the other teams seem to pull it off.
Yeah, Chrissy and Camila did just fine with that. So. But yeah, Chrissy and Camila were the stars of that. They were able to guide their players fairly efficiently, and they did that. And then, the whole time the team's blindfolded except for the one person. So they get the rings, they take everybody across the course once again, and then they have to go build the puzzle.
Yeah.
And the two people building the puzzle are blindfolded, which that would be really hard.
I mean, this is crazy because, again, your caller has to tell you how to put the puzzle together. And the pieces, as far as Survivor puzzles go, these were the simplest that we've seen. They were kind of Tetris shaped. And so they did, knowing that the participants were blindfolded, they did make it fairly easy, but it was not just stack them up, right? They did have to have a specific order, and you had to turn them And sometimes they had to be the right front and back too in order to fit. So it was not easy, but it was easier than some of the puzzles given that they were going to be blindfolded. So again, they really needed solid instruction.
Yeah. And I feel like Camila and Chrissy were able to do that very well.
Yeah. Yep.
And Christian's team, they were behind, but then I think once they got to the puzzle, I still think he didn't do very well with that.
They weren't that far behind. Like they could have pulled it off if he had given better instruction. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, I forgot something that I wanted to bring up. When they did the tribe swap, we got this weird moment, not necessarily weird, but out of character moment from Jeff, where he does a rap.
Oh yes. Yeah, he has people clap a rhythm, you know.
I was like, okay. So it's not only out of place for Jeff. Jeff's a fun guy. So I think that part's fine. But it's like, he's never done that before, at least that I know of. And it's just kind of like weird that he did that just on the spot. It. Yeah. Okay. But I just thought that was interesting enough to bring up.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It was out of character, but I think it's a bit more interesting than just saying, hey, it's a tribe swap. You know what I mean? Like, and of course, because of the rhyme, then everybody knew, oh, okay, this is a tribe swap.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's a tie-in from the tree mail earlier.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay. Well, so anyway, Cila tribe wins the immunity and reward challenge.
Which is big right now.
Yeah.
Brand new tribe.
Yeah. So that's Camila's team was able to navigate that the best. And then they won, 3 chickens?
4.
4 chickens?
4 chickens.
And they didn't have to go to the tribal council. And then Kalo took second, and they got 2 chickens.
1 chicken.
1 chicken. I did watch the episode. 1 chicken. And then Vatu lost. So Christian's team lost. And they had to go to tribal council. So my question is, if you had chickens in your camp, would you be okay with killing? Because this was a big thing I think it was last season.
Do you take the eggs or the chicken?
Eggs or the chicken?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Eggs or chicken? For me, it's eggs all the way because then you keep getting more eggs.
Yeah.
The one challenge with the chickens is that they tend to run away.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're better off just to take the chicken to get the protein before they run away. But I do like the idea of feeding yourselves for a while. Now, however, how many? So listen. For the team who had 4 chickens, I think the eggs are the way to go because then you should have enough eggs that everybody can have some at least every other day.
Yeah.
For the tribe who just got 1 chicken, maybe for them it's probably better to just eat the chicken and then try for reward another day because honestly, you're not going to get that many eggs from 1 chicken, and eggs aren't that big. Yeah. So either way, it's probably the better reward here is the euphoria that the team gets, like the reward, just the reward of having won a reward.
Yeah, as a newly formed team.
Yes, the momentum that it provides you as a team is really key right now.
Yeah, yeah, and with 1 chicken, like you said, not many eggs, maybe 2 in a day.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if you kill the chicken, those are kind of skinny chickens. How much meat are you going to have between 1, 2, 3, 6 or 7 players, right?
I mean, I guess you got to negotiate it.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Still, again, I would say it's less about the actual protein and more about the win.
Yeah. Yeah. But would you kill the chicken? So
well, I wouldn't kill the chicken. I would make someone else on the team kill the chicken.
Yeah. Are you okay with the chicken being killed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, come on. We eat chickens all day long. Somebody kills them. You have to be okay with that. Unless you're a complete vegetarian vegan, you've got to be okay with a chicken dying.
Yeah.
And I am absolutely carnivore, so I'm happy. I'm not gonna lie. I probably wouldn't want to kill the chicken myself, but I have no problem eating the chicken.
Right. That was a big drama point last season, was killing the chicken and the drama there.
Yeah.
I just laughed at that. All right. So they go back to camp. They focus a little bit on, well, mostly on Vatu, because they're the ones that are going to tribal council.
That's right.
This is where it got even more chaotic for me, because you got Emily.
Emily, man.
It's funny because Q kept calling her Emily Flippin' or something. Yeah. And I was like, is she flipping? Is that what it is? But
that is her name.
That's her last name. I didn't know that. Like, Emily's flipping. Emily Flippin'. And I was like, oh, he's got a nickname for her.
No, that is her name.
But I think it's accurate because she flips so many times. She's a gymnastic.
Oh my goodness. This is someone who went into this tribe swap with zero strategy in mind.
Yeah.
She reacted emotionally to the pieces of information that she got, and she did not think about, okay, why am I getting this information and what do I do with it? And what I mean by that is Christian wanted to communicate their plan to her, and so he does. But he doesn't have much time, and so he tells her, and she then goes around and blabs to everybody on the tribe, on the new tribe, that Aubry now has an immunity idol.
My thing is, why didn't she just go talk to Christian directly
Absolutely.
when they got back to camp? Because she's like, hey, you whispered this to me last minute. What's going on here, right? And
yeah.
the whole thing's solved.
Yeah.
But no.
No, she's it's almost like she's testing the water with every single group to see where she's going to make her alliance. And what she does then is she makes an enemy out of everybody, because she flip-flops. So she's alienated her alliance with Christian and clan. And then she goes and tells the plan to Stephanie and Q and makes good friends with them, and then also makes friends with
Mike and Azie.
Yeah, but who was the other woman that
Angelina?
Angelina, that's it.
Oh yeah, she had that heart-to-heart with her.
Heart-to-heart, can I hug you, you know? And then her very next move, at least from the editing, she goes back to Christian. I'm so sorry. I just told everybody.
Christian about had a heart attack.
Oh, man.
What are you doing?
So now they have zero trust in her. They're not going to share anything with her, and probably won't align with her.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And rightfully so. I mean, what's sad, funny, is that she acknowledges that she did share too much information, and so she was not thoughtful about her actions before she took the actions.
Yeah.
And that is, you cannot play like that on Survivor.
Yeah. She's very emotional.
Yeah.
She reacted, well, Christian just told me last minute, so why didn't they tell me before? So I'm mad at him.
Yeah.
So she goes to Q and Stephanie, and they're all, we're just team up, we're going to do this. And then she feels like she's on the outs, like she's the third leg. So she's like, well, I don't like that. That's, it's not what I want. So then she jumps over to Azie. So she's telling her, I want to work with you. I wanted to work with you from the beginning. She doesn't know what she's doing.
This for me is absolutely the blunder of the day.
Yeah, she's just a big ball of anxiety, has no plan, and is just running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
In this episode, it didn't hurt her in the vote.
Right.
But surely it will absolutely hurt her soon.
Yeah. At this point, she's just a number for the majority.
Right,
and
right.
Once that isn't a thing, she's gone.
That's right.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Q, I felt bad for, because he didn't have a vote. And Azie knew that, because they spent
That's right.
the night on the island, and they made the decision to give the vote to Azie. So then I think he was behind the whole thing getting Q out, because he's like, oh, he doesn't have a vote. We have a somewhat majority, so...
Well, the editing shows that Mike White was the first one to bring up his name.
True.
And it was Mike's idea to vote him out, at least from what we saw. He was the first one to talk about it, and he started passing that. And I'm sure when Azie heard somebody else's name, great, I'm going to get on that bandwagon, because it's not going to be me.
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's how it was presented to us. But at the end, when Q's leaving, after he got voted out, he asked Azie, was this you? Did you do this? And he's like, yep.
Well,
So I'm sure it's probably a two-pronged attack, you know. I think Mike was behind the scenes working it, and he did a great job of that with gathering people. Because like you said earlier, he was very blunt with people. He told Stephanie, hey, if I had to vote you out, I would.
I will.
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry, but I will. And he told that to Q. And I don't know why Q is like, just throw a vote on me, man.
This is the oddest thing that I've ever heard, you know, like, and so Mike's like, sure,
He's like,
okay,
right.
I was going to do anyway, so now I get to do it
Gave me
with your permission, yeah.
And at the end, he said, you told me to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, kind of a bad situation for Q. Like I said earlier, he was in a strong position. Then he got to this tribe, and he didn't have a vote. He didn't have any leverage.
What's interesting is that the reason he lost I felt like he didn't fight hard enough for that vote.
Yeah.
So it's kind of his own fault.
Yeah, I can agree. So that's kind of how the conversations on the island went out. They go to tribal, and Stephanie, she was left out of this whole thing. Like, everyone voted for Q.
Yep.
Q couldn't vote, so Stephanie had the lone vote. So it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Once the episode was over, had time to process it, think about it, how it went down. Yeah, pretty simple. But as it was going on, with the Emily chaos, we were just confused the whole time.
Yeah.
As to who was going to go out. So.
But I do think in this episode, we saw a lot more of the discussion about voting Q out.
Yeah, that's true.
Where in other episodes, the person who was voted, we saw zero discussion. But in this episode, we did see the strategy. So
yeah. I think it was Emily in one of her confessionals was talking about Q as a chaotic player.
Oh, interesting.
Like, really?
Oh, that is the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah. I was like, no, I think you're, at least this episode.
This episode for sure.
Yeah. Seems like he had a reputation for being chaotic, but he's very charismatic.
Well,
I liked him from the get-go.
And listen, the reason he got voted out this time was because of his strength.
Yeah.
And remember, Azie actually did say, hey, I'd like to vote Q out, but maybe could we wait for another vote or two because we need strong players. I don't want to be on the losing. I mean, he's tired of being on the losing team. So while he did say at Tribal that it was him, it wasn't his idea from the beginning. It was Mike's idea.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he went along with it, and he probably then said, as soon as he saw consensus that it was going to be Q, then he probably offered up, hey, well, Q doesn't have a vote, so this is going to be solid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a better, I like that. So was voting Q out the best thing for this tribe at this point?
Well, that remains to be seen. Christian's a weak player, as we've seen. Like there are other weak players. It depends on the challenges, right? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I've been consistent this season. It's only the third episode, but saying if someone is directly involved in making that team, your tribe, lose the challenge, they should be heavily considered, if not automatically considered to be voted out. And that was him this time. So and he even acknowledged when they got back to camp, this is me, my fault. I really I'm not in a position to really say anything because of how it went down in the challenge. Yeah. So I think if people would have flipped on him, I don't think he would have gone along with it, but he would have been more understanding.
He would have been understanding, but if you're playing the long game, he really isn't a threat.
Right. Physically or because of
physically, and because he is such an emotional player, he's bound to make enemies or, make more blunders. So, I think he really isn't a big threat. We'll see how he plays in the subsequent episodes, but so far he's not been a really strong player, so I wouldn't view him as a threat.
Yeah.
And you can't play the short-term vindictive game. You have to play the long game.
Yeah. And
would you rather go up against Christian or Q? And you would probably rather go up against Christian.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked Q. So I was sad to see him go, but I understood why.
Yep.
All right, so best play of the episode. We talked a little bit about that in the beginning, that we're going to bring this up. What's your best top play of the day, I guess? Number one play.
Top play of the day, absolutely putting Q on the chopping block. Mike. So for me, it was Mike making the suggestion to vote Q out.
Yeah. And as you said that earlier about Mike running things, I reflected that, yeah, I think he did kind of step up and be pretty assertive with the tribe. And I don't know if he's in charge of the tribe, but he's got some big clout with the tribe now.
Well, here's the thing. Reality is that not only is he celebrity in Survivor, but he is also a very successful entertainer, right? And The White Lotus is an incredible show. And so people are starstruck in more than one way.
Yeah.
And so he is going to have power because of his success with The White Lotus.
I was thinking about that I was like, how would it be to sit there? Like, you're strategizing with Mike White. You know who he is, what he's done. He's won like Emmys and stuff. And you're like, how much presence does he have on the island?
Incredible presence.
Yeah.
So, he's been, he's very successful in Survivor, and he's people are starstruck. And I'm starstruck. I really like the guy. I think what is so likable about Mike White is that he is so quirky, and he is not a handsome guy, but he is so likable and so talented. So you just are in awe of him. And so he doesn't even have to be that assertive. He can just bring it up, and then people are like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Mike White because of all those things, but also because he was on The Amazing Race twice.
Yeah. I mean,
I liked him then, so he's my guy.
Yeah.
My best play of the episode is not even really a play, but a moment.
Okay.
And we didn't see much of the other tribes, but what we did see was interesting with Jonathan and Dee talking strategy to get Cirie out.
Yes.
Because Dee was like, oh, I just like her so much.
Yeah.
And so
I love that her friends were coaching her, that she acknowledged that she really likes Cirie and she didn't know if she could vote her. And her friends were like, you have to vote her out the first opportunity you get. Yeah. Her game is to be likable. You cannot allow her to keep doing that.
Yeah. So I like that moment because up until now, people have had chances. Savannah could have done it in one of their tribals. They were talking about it, but it didn't go that way. So I think if Dee's able to do what Savannah couldn't, she's going to be the better player in that regards. So I want to see it. I'm the same way. From what little I know about Cirie, I like her. I saw her in Traders. She was amazing in Traders. And that's, if you see the Traders and what she did in the Traders, you have to get her out.
Yes.
First chance you get, because she
Yep.
is a baller when it comes to social game.
Yep.
So I hope that plays out before Dee gets got. What about the biggest blunder?
Okay, we already talked about the biggest blunder, but my second biggest blunder of the day was when Charlie was talking to Rizzo, and Rizzo acknowledged that he did not vote for his alliance in the final tribal council. And I love that Charlie was just like, no way, no way. And even though Rizzo was like, yeah, but they didn't lose because of my vote. That's not the point. The point is you make an alliance so that your alliance will vote for you. And if you don't vote for your alliance, then you are a traitor. Charlie is not going to let that sit. And I love that.
Yeah. He's got some trauma from that concept.
Yep.
From that idea.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even get into that whole thing with Rizzo and Charlie.
Yeah.
Because first, what they did show us first, yeah, we're friends. I'm starting to get to know him. He seems kind of cool. Until he told me about how his season. It's a good point. I think Charlie's being a little over dramatic with it, but I get where he's coming from.
I don't think that's a little over dramatic, because if you make it to the finale, you are counting on your alliance. And if you can't count on your alliance, who can you count on?
Well, it's Survivor. Can't count on anybody.
I mean, as far as true. But certainly you would want to be able to count on your... I mean, listen, if you already got voted out, Rizzo had already been voted out. What is he... I don't see what he gained by not voting for his alliance.
Right.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
And then he admitted it.
Yeah.
So,
Which was dumb. That's just as dumb as Savannah admitting that she won before people knew.
Yes. Yeah. Well, she was looking for clout early on.
Yeah.
She wanted credibility. What she didn't realize is that there's a fine line between credibility and threat.
Mm-hmm.
And
people saw it as a threat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I would have said, I got to the top 3 or something like that, but I wouldn't have admitted that I won.
At least not that early.
Yeah.
You could just say you just finished playing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but she offered it up right off the bat.
Again, I think it was because she wanted to feel as expert of a player as everybody else.
Yeah, her hubris got in the way.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So hopefully Dee doesn't make that mistake because they're very similar players.
Except that Dee, well, maybe they are identical because Dee has her own fair share of hubris.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But for me, the biggest blunder of the episode was Q saying, vote for me, telling Mike, just vote for me. We'll diffuse the votes or what. I don't even know what that strategy was because you don't ever want someone to vote for you.
Nope.
Much less tell them to vote for you.
Right.
So it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway. I think you would have gone home anyway, but at least you're telling, hey, I'm okay with it to some degree.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the biggest blunder.
Yeah. Listen, I loved episode 3. I thought we got a lot of drama, the tribe swap, lots of blunders, some pretty great strategy. I can't wait for what's next.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate all the comments, both online and in person. We appreciate you guys watching and checking us out. Subscribe to our channels, YouTube channel, social media channels. Check it out. Listen to it on Apple Podcast. Like the videos, keep commenting on the videos. It's fun to interact with you guys. And we'll catch you next time.
See you later.